Hey guys, and welcome to Piano Shack with me, Woody. So I really enjoyed reading Sound on Sound magazine together with you, the one from 1987 with the D-50. So let's jump ahead to 1988. The month is August, and the M1 has been reviewed in Sound on Sound. So once again, let's skip through the pages of the magazine that have been very kindly scanned into this site here. I'll leave a link in the description. We'll take a look at the ads and the articles in Sound on Sound, August 1988. And I would have read this exact magazine back in the day. So let's see if I remember anything of it. Look at this. The first advertisement we see is the D10. Yes, I had one of these. The same LA synthesis as used by the popular D50. Isn't that cool to see this ad? On the inside cover, the rack-mounted version D110. Many of you I know are familiar with this one. It was better than the D50 in that it had drums and 8 different synthesizer sounds, 64 PCM percussion sounds with built-in rhythm composer at the same time. The D50 had none of those, but of course, we all know the D50 sounded much better, but this was half the price. Whoa, another thing I would have lusted over is this Apex Ultimate Support stand. I have one of those now, as indeed I did buy a D50 eventually. The emulator, look at that. No price on application for that one. DAT was all the rage back then. Yes, I remember that too. Which, this is the goods. I don't remember this shop. Let's skip on through here, the contents. And I haven't read this magazine myself, so I don't know what it's going to contain. What's in the sum up here in the welcome page? This guy is proudly leaning over. Is that some Atari Falcon or IBM PC thing? I'm not sure what that is. Philip Rees, I think they're still going strong. I advise you go in and read the details of this yourself. Look at this gorgeous Atari. Yes, notator, C-Lab creator and notator. I do remember that. And a pristine Atari together with its monitor. All the rage back then, of course. The shape of things to come. What do we have this time? A lovely, look at the laptop down there, guys. Yes. Or is that some special Yamaha laptop? Unveiled the prototype of their new computer. Okay, so this is a Yamaha mobile music computer. Pretty cool. A low-cost lexicon, a Tascam 16-track recorder. King Korg, what's this? I don't recognise that. The P3 piano and symphony orchestral expanders, plus sound modules. Okay, I've never seen one of those. New Roland goodies. Okay, look at that master keyboard. Roland made the finest master keyboards back then. Still going strong, many of them. Built like tanks, the proverbial tanks. So a bunch of new stuff from Roland. The A880 MIDI. Yeah, I'm just skimming through the articles here. Let's press on. What else was new for this month? Of course, as I've said, before the age of the internet, if you wanted the news of things coming, about to be launched, press releases, things like that, you went to Sound on Sound magazine. Just these 2 pages summed up everything that happened during the entire month. No forums or anything like that, of course. A nice Macintosh setup there. Didn't have a Macintosh at the time. We had them at work where I was working. I didn't have one privately. That's nice. A K1. Had a friend with a K1. It had the most impressive first preset that you've ever heard. It was a really swoopy, wave station-y, lush pad thing. Really awesome. Quite a nice machine. I wouldn't mind trying one of those today. Let's skip on. Sequencing. What is that sequencer? Can anybody make that out? It's a Yamaha. Okay. Yamaha sequencers are extremely reliable, even under touring conditions. Built-in disk drives on the QX5 FD. Yeah, I remember that. The QX3, the QX sequencers. Really nice looking thing. Look at that with all the buttons. Got a soft spot for the old hardware sequencers, actually. Now, just like I used to do when I was a kid, I'm going to skip over these boring articles. At least they were boring to me, with all the audio interfaces and things. Thatched cottage audio, remember those ads? Yes. I might try and zoom in so if we can see some of the things they have for sale. Should we try and do that? Zoom in here. Trouble is it jumps pages when I zoom, but bear with me. Let's see what they had for sale. It's a bit blurred. Alesis HR16 drum machine. Yep, so wanted one of those. That's used. It looks like that was sold, but if I can see that rightly, £140. It's a bit too blurry. Let's see if we can find some better ads a bit later on. I apologise again for the pages turning when I zoom in and out. That never happened with the paper magazine, did it? Groove Electronics, a MIDI kit for your Juno 6, Juno 60. My father regrets a lot not buying a MIDI interface at the time for his Juno 6. That would have cost you £100 installed. Jupiter 8 MIDI kit, £125 installed. Very reasonable. Kurzweil. The revolutionary new 1000 series. Kurzweil sounds with more voices. Yeah, okay. People have asked me why we don't do any Kurzweil stuff on the channel. It's because you don't see them very much over here in Scandinavia. A Tascam 8-track. An 8-track cassette recorder. Look at that. How cool is that? Didn't even know such a thing existed. Is that digitally? 8 tracks on compact cassette are possible. Who does it better, Tascam or Toa? Okay, so a bit of a shootout here going on in Sound and Sound. Interesting. Here we go, some Atari Amiga computers, programs in stock. Yes, you used to be able to ring these numbers and get some unofficial, shall we say, versions of the software. That was a thing back then. Intelligent music. Here's a program that will banish your lack of inspiration forever. Where is this? I need this in my life. Version 2 of Intelligent Music's M for Macintosh. Intelligent Music. Anybody use this product? I'd love to hear from you. Wow. Okay. I mean, a lot of the things here you see in some modern software, Omnisphere and their, what's the rhythm thing they have called? Don't remember now. Adding randomization to musical patterns to get some more interesting sounds. So you thought Shure only made one vocal mic? No, they make several, and many of these are still available today. A lot of a very comprehensive review on this Intelligent Music Arranger. Love seeing these beautiful old Cubase, whatever it is. Just seeing the Atari and its monitor. Look at that. That's actually a sampling system. Okay, 16-bit sampling system. Don't remember seeing that. It's still going on about the cyclic variables. An ASQ10. Akai. Okay, that's a unit that's vanished into obscurity. Used equipment. It's nice to look at the prices of the used equipment, isn't it? D550, that's interesting. 860, if I can read that correctly. Just need to magnify that. That would have been £860 for a Roland D550, which is about £1,600 in today's money. And that's for a used D550. That's the D50 rack, of course. Anything else interesting there? I'm trying to look out, especially for the prices of used analog gear, because it was really out of fashion at this time. Mini Moogs, Prophet 5s, stuff like that was pretty cheap. Sequencer Essentials. Okay, a nice tutorial here on the use of sequencers, and that looks like Cubase to me in that picture there. That's the grid editor of Cubase. That's where it all started, guys. That's where it all started. Craig Anderton, legendary name. I think he still is an editor for Sound on Sound. I'm not sure, or Is he anything to do with Anderton's music? I'm not sure, but the name is very, very familiar to me. Craig Anderton. Do let me know in the chat if you know anything about him and his whereabouts today. Nice. Ensoniq were huge at the time. Not so much these days. Just looking at these Porter Studio packages. Too small, I can't read it, and I don't want to zoom because I'd lose the page. This is interesting. The D10 then, let's look at the price of the D10. We've got a few Roland products. The D20 would have cost you £1,150. £2,000 in today's money. You can do the conversion to dollars and euros yourself. The D10 was 785 quid. Huge amount of money back then, but I bought one. I was working at the time, and I do remember buying a D10 from Eddie's Moore's Music. The D110, the D50, here we go, we got a price. 1,000, I'm squinting because the text is so small and fuzzy, 1,350 quid. So twice the price, more or less, of the D10. That's £2,500 in today's money. The MT32, I had one of those as well. That was 450 quid. Ah, this is amazing. I'm really enjoying reading these prices. And this is ABC Music. Are they still around? Who knows? Let me know if you know. You could still buy a DX11, the DX7S, which we had on the channel recently. You could get one of those for £900, so quite a bit cheaper than the D50. The DX, what is that one? The DX7 something or another. 1,700. Mega deals on your Atari software. Pro 24, Roland, MT32 editors. Ah, it's fascinating. Hope you agree. If you're still watching, I guess you do. An S550 sampling module. Don't remember that. I remember the S50, but not that one. Korg M1. Do we have a price on that one? There we go. Korg M1 Mega Synth, samples, sequencer, percussion and built-in reverb. Amazing value, $1,499. So a little bit more expensive than the D50 there. The P3 piano module was just 400. D10 again here, 785. D110, 540. A big thanks to the guy that has scanned in all these old Sound on Sound magazines. It's actually a crowdsourced project, as I understand. So if you have old music magazines, audio magazines, you can scan them in yourself and upload them to the site, or somehow distribute them to the guy that is the, what do they call them? The webmaster, if that term is still used. Muzine, fantastic resource. I'm really enjoying myself here. Kaiwai K1, we talked about that earlier. And I love the articles, but it's these ads that are most nostalgic for me. The Emax, Kurzweil, so we got Rainbow Musing doing some of the USA keyboards, samplers. BEYER Dynamic, anybody know who that guy is? I know. And there we go. Paul Young doesn't endorse BEYER mics, he uses them. Kurzweil, of course, here they come again. Look at that beautiful thing down below. What is that? Don't know what that is. My kid is now having a shower in the room beside me, if you're wondering what the white noise is. And here we have it. The first review of the M1 Music Workstation. Wow is the capital here. The most important single factor that a keyboard can possess is good sounds. It doesn't really matter what it looks like or how many gigabytes of memory it has. Gigabytes back then? I don't think so. Or whether it can replay Wimbledon highlights. If it doesn't sound good, people won't buy it. First thing I did after getting the M1 was to put the kettle on, blah, blah, blah. When a wow came out of all proportion, came sailing into the kitchen. My wife had plugged the headphones into the M1 and started playing. Wow, Tony, this is great. Come in here and listen to this. I went in, took the headphones and listened. She was right. It did sound great. And that was the last I got to hear of it. For the next few hours, She merrily clunked away on the keyboard, leaving me to read the manual. Poor old Paul. Who's the author of this article? Let's see if we can find the name. I'm not seeing it here. I think it's another famous synth reviewer of the time. Let's go to the conclusion, shall we? I'll read the conclusion for you. Conclusions. Now that I've got the moans out the way, I must say that I still think the Korg M1 is destined to be big, very big. The signs are sensational, and yeah, how right this guy was, by the way. And the provision of a PCM card is still popular today, this one. Let me read. Still means that you can keep updating your source samples, if thus keeping the M1 one step ahead all the time. No longer will you be stuck with variations on the same theme, as Korg and presumably third-party developers provide new and original samples to add to your library. The perfect hybrid synth sampler, maybe. It's been a while since I got this excited about a new synth, and that goes for everyone I've spoken to who has heard it. I think the M1's strengths far outweigh the moans I've made here, but as a potential purchaser, you should be aware of them. Having said all that, if you treat the 8-track sequencer as a fairly extensive musical notepad, that with limited storage, and albeit with limited storage, but concentrate on the fact that the M1 outperforms anything else currently on the market, although that is a brash statement given the speed with which new products appear, then you won't be disappointed. There are features that haven't had the time or space to cover in detail, like the facility for using different scales, including your own, but the essential operations have been covered. Check it out if you can find one, but you'd better hurry. Price $14.99, including VAT. Contact Korg UK, there's the address. No web page there. Okay, I'm just going to zoom back and I'll have to find the page again. Yes, we did. Alchemy, stereo sampler for the Macintosh. I vaguely remember this. Of course, I never had the money to buy a Macintosh or play around with expensive software like that. Professional synth voices for the DX7. Yeah, still then, a year later, we're having ROM cartridges and synth voices for the DX7 to be quite a popular thing. MIDI music. Some interesting MIDI sequences that I haven't heard of before. I'm hoping that we have a classified ads section in this one as well, because that was fun to read that. I remember I used to enjoy reading that as well when I read the magazine for real. It's like a walk back in time, isn't it? Dr. T's software page. Yep, Dr. T. He had some popular sequences back in the day. There we go. Dr. T's superb range of sequencing, scoring, sampler or expander editors and creative programs from £99. Pro 24. The price has dropped now to £99. Remember a year ago that one was nearly £300. Anderton's Music Company. Look at that, guys. I'm sure many of you are very familiar with Anderton's YouTube channel. I visit there all the time. I love their guitar vids. The synth vids are pretty good as well with Jack. Enjoy those too. So isn't that cool to see? This is 1988, guys. 30 years ago. Anderton's Music still going strong. How awesome is that? A Steinberg software page. So yeah, more focus now in the magazine on the software stuff. Beautiful Emax. Beautiful. Wouldn't mind getting my hands on one of those. Silence is golden. Ah! MIDI guitars. That used to be a thing, didn't it? And look, here's a cool ad then for the M1. Power to perform, power to produce. Korg UK. Every once in a while, someone comes up with a better product. Less often, a company creates a better product that changes the entire nature of the music industry. The M1, a digital synthesizer, rhythm programmer, sequencer, multi-effects workstation. There we go. I think this might be the first time that someone coined the phrase workstation, but how right they were. This really was a groundbreaking product. It paved the way for the Kronos, the Roland Phantoms, and everything else that came before. This is cool. Many little MIDI editors, a D-50 editor, everything £7 each. Here we go, the free classifieds. Let's see what we have here. I'm just going to shift over a little bit so we can see any cool stuff here. S50 sampler, discs and stuff. I'm looking for interesting analog things. I really want to... A Yamaha PSR 70. Did they have Yamaha PSRs back then? That was a long time ago. Scanning through these. Roland SH101. We had one of those last time. Now it's just £95 for one of those. Boss DR220. I had one of those. That's 65 quid. Roland MT32, you could get a used ones there for $4.45. That doesn't seem like such a great deal, does it? Roland S10J X3P. Looks like £350 for that one. Guess you'd pay more these days. Ensoniq Mirage, Atari 520 ST-FM with 2 years warranty. No monitor needed. Pro 24 included, £500. Prophet VS, Prophet 10. Prophet 10. Yeah, this was a legendary dual manual version of the Prophet 5 or something. $14.95. So pretty expensive. Look at this. Squeezing 8 tracks onto 1/4-inch tape was pretty clever in its day. Putting 8 tracks of this quality onto cassette is little short of a miracle. Look at this thing. Tascam. Another 8-track cassette recorder. And this was analog. £1,300 for one of those. Bargain. So, an enjoyable walk again down memory lane. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. I'll see you again next time. Cheerio.